Welcome back, COK lovers. It's your boy DaYDreaMz, and today was supposed to be the day of the 5K montage. And what I did is I spent about half a day editing and pulling together clips from all of my skill hit videos, all of my war videos, all of my really exciting, intense videos. And for some reason, they will not render properly, and halfway through it stops rendering and it has error messages, and I've tried different ways to fix it, but it's just not meant to be. And I got to thinking about it, and it's like a sign from above, because I didn't make this channel to post skill hit videos and more videos. I made it to help people and to teach you guys everything that I know about this game, everything that I've learned in my year and a half playing this game. So you know what, I decided I'll just go ahead and do a quick tutorial on skills and how to set up different skills for whatever you're doing in the game. So that's what this turned into. It's not quite as exciting as a skill hit war montage, but I'm at least giving you guys some substance. I'm giving you something to something to take back and learn about, because just being a meathead and attacking something, that's not really giving you anything that you can take back and apply to your own game. So let's go ahead and get started with this quick skills episode. So I'm gonna go into the skills. We'll do combat last, because combat's pretty straightforward. But for support, there's two things you want to use this for. You don't want to use it for trap speed ups. You want to use it for monster march speed, which is actually very important, especially if you're pushing a Lord level, and for soldier training speed. So as you can see here, you get 50% monster march. You can get your stamina up 50%, and then of course the skill, which gives you it don't give you much, but it gives you a little bit of stamina. I think 20 stamina every 8 hours or 12 hours. And then if you come down here, you can get another 100% or 200% monster march speed. So that's 250% just here in the skill setup. You can also do your dragon glass and get another 150% there, so you can be marching 500% faster on monsters. So that's very important when you're trying to push Lord levels, and you get a lot of resources in the meantime. And now that they're putting more badges into the monsters and the events that they have, so whenever there's a monster event, you definitely want to put your skills into monster march speed and rack up those monster kills. You'll have a ton of safe resources, and you'll have a ton of experience. So that's something that a lot of people don't take advantage of when you should. Okay, never go down here into trap making. Trap making is not worth wasting skills on. It's a complete waste. It shouldn't even be here. It's such a waste. Tell me in the comments if you've ever actually wasted your skill setup on trap making, because traps aren't that important. Because if you're having to rely on traps to keep you safe, you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't be in a kingdom getting mauled where you're worried about how many trap kills you get, because that means you're getting zeroed. So definitely don't be worrying too much about traps. You can build them so that you have them and get your power up, but they're not important enough to do that with. So if you come up the top here, you can get training capacity 125, that makes your troops train longer. You can get some hospital capacity in the meantime, that always helps. And then right here, 2.5 soldier training speed. And then you keep coming down, you get this monster speed, and then you keep coming down all the way into soldier training capacity right there. That goes up another 500. And then hospital capacity, healing speed. This is really nice for when, if you do a skill hit and you have to heal, this speeds up your soldiers over 100% faster or 50% faster. And this is even most important, healing costs. Reduces the resources required to heal for soldiers in the hospital. If you're spending millions of resources to heal, for 1,000 gold you can switch up to this, and you're going to be saving so much resources just for 1,000 gold. And while you do it, you can keep it here and hit monsters and do the soldier training speed. So after skill hits, I like to come here and do this all the way down. Right now I have mine in dual, because I'm just now taking this castle. I'm going to take it to 30. But as you can see, if you get this and then you go down one more, you can get the training speed, and it speeds shoulders up, I believe, an extra 10%. So that's huge. 10% training speed when you got your dragon glass on, that on, it's actually 12.5%. That's huge. You don't want to get this last one, even though it's only one. It's pretty much worthless. It makes the troops march at you slower. But never get this down here. Never get this turret and trap attack. I mean, that's worthless. It's totally worthless, believe me. But yeah, guys, whenever you're wounded, make sure you come here and get this. If you have to heal like more than 5 to 10 million in resources, especially once you're healing like level 10s and it's all that mithril, you definitely want to come and get this healing speed and the healing cost speed up. Plus you want to put your level 10 dragon glass on. It'll make a huge difference for you while you're healing, so remember that. So now let's go to develop, and develop's huge as well, especially when you're pushing those castle levels. There's nothing more important when you're pushing castle levels than to switch your skills into develop before building your wall or castle. Trust me when I say this 12.5% building speed buff is totally worth the 1,000 gold when you're building a 10-day plus castle. So castles 27, 28, 29, 30. This is huge, along with the level 30 iron ring and the level 20 heavy greaves pants. Those combined are going to add like 75-80% building buff. So keep that in mind when you're doing your building. So right there, building buff, science research, that's decent. You also get your resources done while you're going through. So make sure you focus on one particular resource that you actually need. Like right now, as you can see by the 475 million wood, we've been going heavy on wood so we can get these walls done and the troop halls done. And then this right here gives you 100% gathering for 2 hours. I have this on every farm. It's very, very important when you're pushing farms. Now right here is the construction. This gives you 20 or 10% building construction time. When I get ready to get this next castle, I switched it because I'm collecting resources now. My castle's already done. Once you start an upgrade, you can switch your skills and you'll still get the buff, because you only need the buff when you start the upgrade. Same with healing, same with anything, even march speed, everything. Every buff you only need it when you start the action. So right here's building construction time. Now if you want to get real gangster and you need to gather some mithril, you can keep coming down. This gives you 10% research speed. This is a super depot, not real important. It keeps your resources safe. This is the mithril gathering. It's this one increases the income inside your castle. This one increases on the map. I get these sometimes if I need mithril, but I mainly gather on my farms. I don't really need it. And this is resource protection. It's pretty much worthless. You should never be having to protect your resources like that. If you have the level 38 skill it takes to get here, you're strong enough that you're not going to be worried about people stealing your resources, because if that happens, you're going to be zeroed anyway. So don't worry too much about that. But the main things about develop, remember, is this building buff right here. And then of course on your farms, it's the most important one, develop. But yeah, building speed buff 12.5%. Now for combat, there's different schools of thought with combat. A lot of people like the range siege. A lot of people like the infantry front line. That's why they get the level 40 sword of Ares. But I like the cavalry, and here's why. Cavalry you're going to get the most use out of because they have two offensive troops, which are the cavalry archer and the knight. The knight are well rounded. They're offense and defense. All the other troop types in the siege, archer, and in the barracks, they're one or the other. It's, you know, in the barracks it's spearmen, swordsmen. In the archer it's bowmen and crossbowmen. And in the siege it's ram and, you know, trebuchet or mangonel, same thing. But you definitely want to set your skill points up when you're doing military for whatever type of attack you prefer. For me, I like cavalry buffs because it gives you both, you know, the cavalry archer get a bonus on resource tiles, so you're going to be owning on resource tiles. And on castle attacks and castle defenses, those knights are like one of the most important troops in the game. So I like to go with infantry health or infantry defense, and the reason is because health helps you on offense and defense. The infantry defense, that just helps you mainly on defense. It does help you some on offense with like your you know, the damage received, but health is definitely the better way to go. So go infantry health, then you come down, you got to get infantry attack. And then stick with, because you got to get to the active skill, stick to whatever troop you like to use most. I like to use cavalry. You may like to use archer or siege, but I would recommend going with either siege or cavalry. The archers in this game, they're okay, but you know, they're not quite as good as the siege or the cavalry. So of course you got to get the infantry attack. Then you got to choose once again between defense and health. I've always gone with health because it helps on offense and defense, and it really makes those berserker or T7 guard or T6 swordsman very, very strong, and you'll have less of your halberdier or pikeman die as well. Then right here, this is general mobilization, increases 10% max march. So this gives you a 10% march increase for 1 hour, and you can use that once every day within every 24 hours. Once again, attack and defense. I go cavalry, you can go siege or archer, but go down one of them. And then of course tough shield. This is great, it reduces the damage to the infantry. That's really good for like your T7 guard and your T10 berserker. And then here's a huge one. It gives health to either your cavalry, archer, or siege. And then it gives like this is like trample damage. It's called iron cavalry. It increases the damage dealt. And then of course they have one longbow, increases it by archers. And then city assault, it increases the siege attack. Now I've seen some level 30s with this siege attack, and they use a lot of trebs, and they do very well, but you still need a complete lair. You can't just use all trebuchet. You will get smashed. Unless you're fighting really weak troops, you will get smashed. And then right here, the most important skill in the entire game, the active help skill. This is really good. If you have anything else left over, just remember to put it in the troops that you use the most. That's what's most important, is the troops that you use the most. So once you get the SVIP4, you can use a second skill setup, so that way it's really great. If you have that in your SVIP4, here's what I would recommend. Of course, having number 1 as your attack, so that you have the skill ready at all times. And then for your second one, I recommend going to support and going down to the to get this healing speed increase and the healing cost decrease, and the soldier training speed. That's huge, to be able to just switch back and forth like that. That's a really, really amazing skill to have. It's going to save you a lot of gold. And then whenever you're doing a building upgrade, a big building upgrade, you can just switch it to develop and take out the support and go to develop. So yeah guys, this was supposed to be the 5K war montage. If you've made it this far, make sure you do slap a like on this video. It's the best way that you can support me and the channel, and I appreciate all of you guys for helping build this to 5,000 subscribers. We were already up to 5,200, so that 10K isn't far away. Let's keep pushing and grinding, and I will keep coming out with these tutorials, and I hope that they help you. If you guys would, leave in the comments section and tell me the one thing that you've learned from this channel that has helped you the most in your Clash of Kings experience. I would love to hear that, and I'll see you guys later tonight with another video. Maybe I can get this 5K montage done so I can show you every skill hit that I've ever recorded, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.